See, what you're doing now is you're actually going backward to the source. Contrary to popular belief that we learn something, we do not learn anything. We unlearn the lie, and the truth is already there. So what you're doing is you're going backward. You started at a point, once you were born, you started at the point of absolute truth. And then you took on all these personas. You took on all these idea structures. So you covered up all this stuff for a lot of reasons. And basically we could say that reason is that we didn't know who we were or who we are. So we had to make up, being young, we have to make up something that we want, the way in which we want to be perceived. There are other things. There are societies. Societies have to be ordered in order to have a society that functions and holds together in some way. So then you had civilization, then you have religion, all this stuff put on a person so that they are in control and a group of people can act in a fairly civilized manner. So you learn all this stuff. Well, one of the reasons why this is very frightening to most people in the society is because they feel that without this, in certain religions, Catholicism being one of them, without guilt, man would not do the right thing. Well, that's nonsense. Intelligence, and we are all intelligent. We do not all use it, but we all are. Okay? Intelligence tells us to behave in a certain way. Right? And that is native to our being. Intelligence is native to us. So the process then of unraveling all that becomes frightening to people who don't understand. But the only way you can understand is to unravel it. And you see, oh, it is natural in me not to want to do anything to anyone. It's just there. But, okay, living in a society or living in a world where there are predatory creatures, ultimately you may have to do that. But, so, the society itself fears that movement. But that is the only movement, is to uncover, to throw all these things off. That is the only way that we will be healthy. That is the only way that it will function as it is supposed to function. That is, for lack of better words, through psychic energy or whatever all that means. So the process then is to go backward, back to the original source, okay, to the original thought. Then we see. Until we do that, we won't see it. So, and there is no verbal explanation that will suffice. It won't do it. It can't do it. And one of the things that I have learned after I came into this space, and that's about the cylinder, that only you will know the truth about what you find, and that it is impossible to have a discussion with other people about that because it gets too complicated. Okay, it's too complicated because they make it too complicated. They don't understand that you are communicating something to them that they don't understand. The problem becomes that they want to translate it through their way of seeing, which has nothing to do with the original or original. And when they do that, they make it so complicated, it becomes like going through this maze with trillions of possibilities and only one way out. Okay, so that's what I meant by the cylinder. You're in this cylinder. So after a while, you learn to just go, you try, and then you go, and you leave it alone. Because when you see that they are making it complex, and when they're making it complex, they're not listening. And everybody wants, I use this example a lot. Your elbow bends this way. That's it, man. That's it, okay? It bends this way. It does not bend this way. I mean, you can do it, but the experience is going to be real painful, all right? So, what the problem becomes is, what is the hand doing when the elbow bends this direction? People like to think it's only one thing that it can do. No, if it bends, I can be combing my hair, I can be brushing my teeth, I can be eating, I can be scratching my head, I can be doing a multitude of different things. So the point becomes, when you find out the truth, you are like in this cylinder. And all those outside of that cylinder think that what you do is what they would be doing if they were doing it. And it's just not true. Okay? There's only so many ways, there's so many things you can do in a limited reality. And physical reality is limited. There's just so many things you can do. You can go to the movie, and in The Exorcist, she can turn her head all the way around. You can't do that. She turned her head all the way around, and once they got rid of the demon, she was fine. I don't think so. I think once you get rid of the demon, you fall over dead, because it doesn't work like that, right? So in physical reality, there's just so many actions one can perform. But the reason for the actions can be many and varied. Well, I won't get into that. But so you find yourself in this cylinder. And one of the things you ultimately learn to do is be quiet, except with a very few people. This morning, Sun Times, there is an article on Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who has become a recluse. Nobody's seen him in a long time. I wonder why. There's no one for him to talk to. You see what I'm saying? He exists in this thing. So he talks to very few people. He exists in this space. It became apparent to him that the interaction with the outside world, it just isn't happening. If it isn't happening, you may as well do something else that is productive in another way. No, tape. I thought you said Kate. I said, say, didn't bring it. Yeah, I let Michael use it for the game today.
You talked about that people past.
Yeah.
I'm kind of reaching a little past my
But you said it correct. You said it almost correctly. Yeah. You see, you are. Let's take if you had a giant balloon, okay, and this balloon could stay filled with holes in it, okay. So you prick all these little holes in it. Well, all the little pricks are people, okay, or personality, right? Okay, the holes, each hole is an individual. But the holes could not be without the balloon. See? So, what you are is the one thing, and you experience all of it as the one thing at a particular point on the whole. Does that make sense? That's how it is. There is but one, but the idea of the individual is a perception, is a point of perception on the whole. So it's only one whole. There is no, the whole thing is perceived simultaneously. So there is no there's no time. There's only one moment. And in that one moment, see, when you recognize yourself, you see it all simultaneously. Instead, it's like if you unfocus your eyes and you sit at one corner of the room, you see the whole room. That is the way it all is seen from the perspective of all that is. As you say, God sees it all. Because contrary to popular belief, God does not have eyes. Okay? Eyes are a limited thing and cause you to focus in a limited manner. God is unlimited. It sees the whole experience. Now, as you come backward and you get rid of all that linear thought or the attachment to the linear thought, and you come to the original thought, which is your being, what do you see? It all simultaneously. And that's what makes you understand all the little singularity bullshit that you go through every day doesn't mean a damn thing. You go, So, why are we doing this? And you'll hear me say, those of you who've been in close proximity to me hear me say that quite a bit. Why are we doing that? It doesn't mean that I don't know why we're doing it. I know why it's being done. I just don't understand why one would want to do that. When you see larger pictures, foolishness, it just doesn't make sense. Emotionalism doesn't make sense because it is a misunderstanding of the energy. It's a misunderstanding of the energy and therefore a misuse of the energy. Well, I just want to feel this way. This is how I feel. This is how I am. Well, get over it. Okay? It's a misunderstanding of what that energy, why that energy is there. And as long as you are involved in the linear thought process, you are going to misuse your creative energy. Let's go back to the story of the Garden of Eden. It is a parable. Okay? It talks about a garden where you need nothing. Everything is there for you. What happened? The snake crept in. The snake representing the lowest form of thought. Not good or bad, just the slowest vibration of reality. And they knew they were naked. Not that they weren't naked before, it's just that naked didn't exist. They were just here. They weren't wearing clothes. As an example, it is an example of thought dividing the world into good and bad, which separated man from the Garden of Eden, from pure thought, from proper use of energy. That's all it did. The story was written so that fools couldn't understand it. It was a secret for those who were truly interested in learning the truth, in raising their consciousness. But what happened? They thought the fool would say, I don't understand this, and throw it away. But what did the fool do? Kept it for thousands of years and nurtured it. A fairy tale. It is about practical use of what it is that you are. And we're going to do a meditation today, and we're going to do a little experiment with this. Okay? We'll get to that a little later in the show. Okay? Let me say this to you. You've heard me say this again. Heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. I want you to hear what I'm saying. You literally create your own reality. This is the law of Eden. Now, you want to be happy? Then be happy. Then your reality will be happy. You want to be unhappy? Then be unhappy. Then your reality will be unhappy. Okay? Want to be an asshole? Be one. Then your reality will be filled with assholes. Guy is in a meeting, and he goes off on this tangent, and he jumps up and he says, all lawyers are assholes. And another guy jumps up and said, I resent that. You say it again, I'll punch you out. And the guy says, what are you, a lawyer? He says, no, an asshole. Don't bring me down like that. The point about that is all, that's why I said back many times, you must understand all thought, even the best thought, can create some pretty negative shit. Okay? Why? Because when it conflicts with other stuff, you can be as holy, you can embrace a holy thought at the wrong time, and it's satanic. You see what I'm saying? That's why all thought has to go. All linear thought, all linear opinion has to go. Because it all creates confusion. So what you have to, when you do that, you come into this state of being where you just leave it alone. You see what I'm saying? You leave it alone and therefore don't create that thing. And pretty soon it will die down. But you must hold your position. That's why the whole idea, the whole realization, the whole realization must be correct. Because you just create. You do it anyway. You do it anyway. We've got groups who believe in demons and boogeymen being responsible for the evils on earth, evil spirits. And I've never seen any of these guys. Okay? I've never seen any boogeymen. I mean, I've seen what they call boogeymen, but they were just folks. Okay? Just stuff. Okay? But you see, I don't have that opinion of them. Therefore, it's just stuff. You understand what I'm saying? I don't carry these words about it. It's just what it is. Okay, so there's Satan. Yeah, well, hey, what's up? I don't know. I don't know what all that means. I know what the forces do. But not having all those breaking up the Garden of Eden into good and bad and all that, I don't know what that means. So when you come to that space, you literally create harmonious stuff for yourself. Does that make sense? So you're correct. You have to actually stay in that space, have to get into that space and understand that space and never ever want to leave that space. Well, leaving that space is not possible once you get there. I say it's not possible because nobody can, no, I don't care what you offer, I'm not coming. Whatever you offer, you can offer the whole world. No, I don't think so. Because it's meaningless. So you can't come back. So that's why I talk about doing certain things so that the change is permanent and you just create. You create from the base of what you are. From the base of what you are. From the expression of God that you are. You create the red carpet, then you walk on it. And when you get to the end, you create some more, and then you walk on it. So, the whole idea of creation not idea of creation, because now we're talking some other stuff. But creation is a part of what is natural within you. So when it's not like you want it, you have to look at what you have been doing. And I've said this to you over and over again. You can't start and stop. Well, you can. Because every time you do that, that's what you're creating. Starting and stopping, starting and stopping. You're not creating a consistent patchwork. You create it with all these flaws in it because one moment you're all holy and the next moment you're full of crap. So that's what you're creating. So you're going along, oh wow, this is wonderful, bam, oh, why did this have to happen to me? I'm a good person. What does that have to do with anything? We're all good people. What does being a good person have to do with anything? Being a righteous person, righteous meaning right, right meaning in alignment with the natural law. I'm not talking the foolish righteous. Oh, we're righteous and we don't allow women to wear short skirts and paint their lips and all that. Yeah. Like this one preacher that's on TV all the time. He says, I see you all the time in them short dresses. I'm saying, I bet you do. Because you look at her, right, preacher? We do understand. Not that kind of righteous, because that becomes a righteous indignation. Yeah, that's not what it's about. To live within the laws that are what you are. That are what you are. They are native to your being. It's like saying eating without tasting. If you put it in your mouth, you can taste it. That is normally. Okay. It is, you cannot be without breathing in physical reality. That is the example. Creation is in your nature. You're doing it whether you want to or not. Now, the issue is, do you like what you're creating, Bunky? That's the issue. And my point is, if you don't like it, change it. Don't change scenery. Change what's creating it, because when you change scenery, you take the same thing with you and you create that within the new scenery. So, well, you can do that. That's up to you. All I'm saying is, I'm not trying to control your life. I'm not trying to run your life. I don't want to. My life is okay. My life is fine. So I don't need to control yours. I don't want to control it. I'm saying to you, if it's not giving you what you desire, then there's something in here that's responsible. And all the righteousness in the world is wrong when it's not doing what you want it to do. Simple as that. It is as simple as that. So all the responsibility is right here. All of it. All of it. All of it is right here. Until you accept responsibility for your condition, It's not going to change. Until you accept that divisional thought process is responsible for the division in your stuff, okay, you're not going to change it. You can't. It's an old saying my grandma used to say, you can't hide from God. Okay, I can't hide from God. Well, he's hidden from me. Okay? How can he see me and I can't see him? What you do, see, son, whatever you do, you're going to pay for it. What the hell is this old lady talking about? Well, it's not an issue of hiding from God. The issue is you create your reality. You can't hide from what you create. You can't do it. I'm in here, I'm hidden, nobody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. So, you literally do this. What's the purpose of doing anything else? What's the purpose then of lying to yourself about it's okay to think a certain way? Well, it's okay to think that way if you are happy with what you've got. It's okay. If you are happy with what you have, knock yourself out. But one of the things you want to know for sure, one day you're going to want to know the truth, because it's not going to work. You keep saying, I want this. Old saying, be careful what you wish for. I will change that saying. It says you just might get it. I say you will get it. You will get it. You are getting it. Your tools are thought, energy, visualization. What you see, what you think about, fueled by the energy in your being. You can call that emotional energy. You can call it any kind of energy you want. You can call it. Doesn't matter. Shell is gasoline. Mobil is gasoline. They will all run your cars. Some just better than others. But they will all run your car. Emotional energy, it doesn't matter what you call it. It is energy. So when you sit around and you feel sorry for yourself, you feel whatever, that's what you're creating. Sorry situations. Sorrow-filled situations. You sit around and you don't think to completion and act on those things, you don't get it completed. It's just the way it is. You are happy, then the things that are around you are created in joy. It's just the way it is. It comes with the package. What do you want to do? In understanding this process, this thought process, you have to really pay attention to what you are doing. What you are sitting around thinking about. What energy you are putting into those thoughts. I learned something. Some time back about I could put all the truth and everything into a technique or this or that or the other. Say, wow, isn't this beautiful? Isn't this great? Only those who could see it. So it was only beautiful to them. If you hold on, well, this is beautiful. If you want to give it, another person, I don't want that. That's ugly. So even your idea of beauty is your idea of beauty. You have to understand that. Now, what am I trying to get to you? Oh, you need a little ugly with yours. All right, well, here's a little ugly. Stir it in with it. There you go. Oh, smell like shit. I think I'll keep it. Well, that's what we do. Because it matches our crap. You see what I'm saying? It matches our, oh yeah, let me, yeah. That's what we do. See, the truth is about you. It's not about anybody else. In your recognition of the truth and what you do, it's not about anybody else. It's about you. Because you are creating. You lay every brick in your house. In your house of dreams, you lay every brick. So if you put one in there, you get ready to chip the corner off and it breaks in the middle down here somewhere. You say, well, chip this off, just put it in there. Well, you put it in there. You are the contractor, you're the workman, you are the person that's being billed for, you're the architect, you're all of this stuff about your life. Now, what is it you want? But you have to understand, you have to stop setting up judgments for others. And you be right. Only until you do that, you can't even joke about it until you have become detached from it. Then you can joke about it. Then it becomes funny. But the whole idea, if you are serious about the nonsense, whoa, you betcha. Oh, there's something else. There's another reason. See, it's not specific act for specific act. It is kinds of acts. Okay? Kinds bring back same kind. Does that make sense? If you think without completion, then you think to a point and then all of a sudden you drop it and you don't think about it anymore. Well, see, that's the kind of thing that's coming back. So you create this gap in what you're doing. Does that make sense? So it's not really the specific attitude that one carries. It's not supposing I cheat you, but I don't cheat anybody else in this room. I think, wow, I'm cool. Right? The reason I don't cheat them is not because I have changed, but for some other reason, let's say. You see, that is going to come back. Bam! You say, okay, I got that. I'm done with that. Whew. But you haven't dealt with the source. You are still dishonest. So that the whole thing is about dishonesty. So dishonest things are still going to come. Also, now, let's look at this. When you literally change, you say, oh, no more. Things are going to, you say, now I'm on the path, which means nothing bad's going to happen to me. No. It means more of the same stuff is going to come so that you see what you're doing. So you say, okay, I can learn from this. Okay, I got it. then something else comes from someplace else. Trust me, when you awaken, it just means bigger stuff is coming. For what it means. Sometimes when you go to sleep into an attitude that what's coming, oh, I see, oh, that's bad. So you're sleeping in the bad attitude. It may not, what you see coming may not be what you desired as a specific, but if you are on this trip, it is what you desire to get you clear, or to give you the impetus to be flung away from the earth. Earth being physical attitudes and that kind of thing. So, one of the things that you must lose is that kind of moral judgment as to what is coming. Pain is nothing but change coming. What we like to do, we like to get rid of that which pains us rather than get rid of that's inside of us. We like to operate out here rather than operate in here. So when something is paining you, what you have to do, you have to accept it. You really have to accept it. It will put you in a position. It may destroy you momentarily, but you will be rebuilt and rebuilt better. World War II, no, Korean War. When jet fighters first came out. Well, we had a thing called the F-86. Pew! 400 miles an hour. Chew! Well, the Russians said, all right, we got a thing called the MiG-17, smaller, lighter, more maneuverable. They had air superiority over Korea. We got smart. We looked at what they did. Ours was straight wings like this. MiG-17's wings were swept wings, which gave it more maneuverability. We changed the F-86 after many people dying and us saying, we know best, and they were going, yeah, right. Pain. So then we went to, said, all right, we got this new F-86A. We swept the wings. Now we'll get them. We went out there and they went because ours was bigger and heavier. Okay, so they could go and we'd go, well, yeah, okay. More pain, more people dying. Well, one of the things they discovered was if they could manipulate the tail section, they could get those same kind of turns and even better. But no one was strong enough to physically manipulate that stick so that they could manipulate the rudder. They came up with hydraulics. Now, air superiority was regained by the American forces. No, was gained by the American forces because not only were we bigger, we were faster, and we had more maneuverability. But out of the pain of dying, did it dawn on us, wait a minute, we have a problem we must solve. It is the same thing. Yeah, that's a lot of energy today. It's the same thing. See, we don't go through things differently as a group. We are individuals who come together in groups. So we go through the same processes to do the same thing. So if you want problem solved, you have to look at it where it was internal. We didn't say, well, we got to go kill those people because they've got better technology, because their technology was killing us. So we had to look inside. Where is the problem? The problem is inside with us. Okay, now focus, intensity of focus, because we're dying. We're going to lose. Oh, creation. Oh, success. Pain lets you know something's wrong. So then what you have to do is change it. It's as simple as that. But you can't look out here and change it. You have to look in here and change it. Because this is where your creation comes from. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. When I had the karate school, the martial arts school, we try to teach people how to be artists. It's hard when they want to be technicians. Okay? You try to demonstrate by, here is the thought process. Well, there's this style and that style and the other style. I've never seen a style beat anybody yet. It's the person using the style. I talk about a guy named Milton Goshi. Goshi just walked in off the street. Came into the dojo. There was a tournament that weekend. Went in the tournament. Won the white belt division. He didn't have a style. He was just a street fighter. He just beat people up. So the style was meaningless. It's the person wielding the style. Okay? It doesn't matter. So being an artist means that when you look in here, you have to be creative. And you have to see it. You have to see from a different perspective what is going on. Now, what I'd like to do today, we're going to spend a little time building a little energy. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this energy, and we're going to visualize joyfully. Joyfully. See, you get serious about stuff. Gonna make it happen. Oh, serious. Then shit gets real. I mean, stuff gets real serious there. That's not. No. Joy. Excuse me. Joy is a natural order of man. Joy. All right? Be joyful. Laugh. It's okay to laugh. It's all right. Trust me. All right. So we're going to do this. Let's see what happened. Now, last time we really did something like this, we did some work for Donna, and then one time, years and years ago, we did it. Okay. Let's do the vowels. Now, as you're doing the vowels, relax. You know, one of the things when we tend to, when we're ready to do our meditations or stuff like that, we'll tend to sit up real straight and tall and get real tense. You want to sit up real straight and tall and be real relaxed so that you can feel the vibration in your body. So you want to do ah, not a, ah. So I was talking with someone the other day about yin and yang, and it's a is ah, not a. Okay, so it's ah. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your body. Not you, but ooh. R-E-I-O, ooh. Okay. Feel it. Relax and let it happen. And when I ask you to stop, I want you to go to the visualization. See it happening. See a contract being signed for that house. See it done joyfully. See the people involved in it happy. Everybody's happy. Okay? All right. if you would, all we have done is taken a moment, a slice out of the day, and focused our attention on what to do. What you want to do is to expand that so it is not a slice out of your day, but it's the way you live your day. You did something consciously. Now let's see what happens as a result. It should be fine. That's okay. It doesn't matter. That's okay. I saw a couple. Okay. That's okay. See, the issue about it is same. See, it doesn't have to be the specific. It may be. But it's the sameness of putting the energy to work. It's the sameness. Seeing it happen. It's the sameness of, doesn't matter, 3, 4, 10, 1, half. It's okay. Now, some of us may have tapped into it. That's cool. Some of us may have created. That's cool. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Meditation is this. Meditation is arriving at a state of consciousness that is you. The vibration. See, what we're doing with the vowels is setting up a vibration. Each one of them will vibrate naturally at a chakra or at a transformation point. That's the point where the energy is transformed to different realities, let's say, but more accurately said, to different illusions. Okay. So what you try to do is to get that to vibrate in sync so that the whole thing is complete. Now, so you will feel that in your body. What it does, once it gets up into here, it starts to change your thought processes. They start to be able to be less concrete. And then when you close your eyes, you just go. And you will ultimately end up back at the original point. That is meditation. What we have done was an exercise in creation. This was not meditation. That was just preparing the ground or preparing your instrument to do it, or adding energy or vibration, adding energy to the visualization. Seeing it happily was making the energy palatable. You always, whatever you visualize, you want to visualize in joy. All right? Because nobody wants stuff coming back to them that's not joyful. You know, I mean, even if it's an axe murderer, let him have a smile on his face, okay? Or whatever. So, that's what that was about.
So, I mean, why does that apply to the awakening process?
Because the awakening process is waking up to see. All right? To see what? To see what is before you. That, if you would awaken to see what is happening inside of your body. So you wake up. See, you wake up by seeing. The whole process of awakening, think about it, is like the first thing you do in the morning is awaken. It is a recognition that you are no longer asleep. That is the awakening process. Except at this level, you awaken from a much greater dream. And you go, you wake up. So that's what it has to do. And everything that is in front of you, or that is placed in front of you, or placed in such a way that you can see it and go, oh. You have many cracks. It's like when you have an idea and it's almost like a little light goes on. That's why awakening is sometimes called enlightenment. You recognize the little light that goes off. Well, what we're trying to do is get that great cosmic Commonwealth Edison in the sky effect, where everything lights up. Just, it's like an atomic explosion, everything, and there's light on everything, so you see everything. So awakening or enlightenment is all a matter of what you can see, the truth that you can see. Does that answer your question? Well, let's look at it again. You say, what does that have to do with enlightenment or awakening?
No, well, my question was, like, you envision something an end point to something happening.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I understand that it's all you can do as far as awakening is understand the information that you get from the experiences. If someone visualizes themselves awakening, if they're not awakening, they're not visualizing themselves.
Well, but what you're doing is bringing it closer to you, to that point where you will recognize. See, that's what I'm saying. It's when you sat down, when we start to do this technique, it's a matter of recognizing or recognizing what you are doing. It's the same thing. You know, it still doesn't make sense.
No,
Okay. That's the answer. That's what it has to do with it, a possibility. It doesn't matter. You can awaken. I used to have people walking around looking at the ground, looking at stuff. Once you see it, it doesn't matter if it's an ant crawling along, and all of a sudden you recognize it. You wake up. You become enlightened or awakened. You know, I have people doing, I used to have people, we'd go away, and I'd have people do, every time we'd go away, I'd have people do it, and they're walking around looking at the ground. The issue was, it's here. There it is, right there. And if you look, you recognize. So with this process, you're doing what? You're doing visualization, you're doing creating an energy base. So what if you recognize the laws about what you are doing, and they're right there because that's the way it was designed. It was designed to simply focus you at the truth. So the moment you go, oh, that's what it has to do with. Anything, doesn't matter. It can be anything. It can be the blink of an eye. Anything, as long as you recognize, and that's the hard part. That's the hard part. It's there. It's always been there. It will forever be there. The issue is the recognition. So no matter what technique it is or what it is, it's put there for you to recognize. Will it happen? Hell, I don't know. It's because that's up to you. When I talk about your thought processes, those are the things that keep you from recognizing. Your comfort level with stuff keeps you from recognizing. So you have to just go with this stuff. It's almost like if I tell you to do something, you have to go at it wholeheartedly in order to see. But if you don't go at it wholeheartedly, you won't see it. It's to get rid of that thing that keeps you from seeing it. Just scrape it right off and you go, Now, once you see it, you have to let it expand within you. That's the key. Because everybody has these mini awakenings. And they just let it be about one thing instead of the whole thing. You have to let it crack you wide open. And let it destroy everything you think you know. And one of the most wondrous things I found out, even when I was right, I was wrong. Oh yes, I know what, yeah, right. Pow! Oh my God. Because even when I was right, I kept it like this. Instead of letting it, and that's the key. So all of it, in terms of awakening, is what you recognize, and it's everywhere. What do you have to investigate what you want to do. All this is very nicey-nicey. People get upset with me sometimes because I kind of knock what they do. I don't kind of knock it. I knock the hell out of it. Okay, their religions and their methods and all that. And there's a reason why. It's just bottom line. And see, as long as we keep sugarcoating that bottom line, you never get there. We have a thing in the Christian faith. God forgives you no matter how many times you do it. Who cares? It's not about God forgiving you. It's about you recognizing that crap and stop that. That's what it's about. God forgives you. So, what does that do for you? You're still a jerk. You still do those things that are ungodlike. You still do idiotic crap. So you see, when the religion says, oh yes, it's like being a Hindu. Oh well, I am going to be reincarnated. I don't have to do it this time. I will do it next time. Bullshit. Next time you're going to say the same crap. Okay, so you see, built into our structures is laziness, or what we take to be laziness, or what we make into laziness. Built into it, oh, here's the way I don't have to fulfill my contract. We look for loopholes. No, there are no loopholes. See, it's like this or it ain't. It's real simple. Either you're doing it or you're not. Either you're recognizing it or you're not. And anytime you want to wallow in whatever it is you want to wallow in, I don't care if you were raped by a marauding herd of wild elephants when you were 14 years old. It doesn't matter right here today. Because as long as you keep those marauding herds of wild elephants in your head, you are going to be miserable. And it's not about your misery, it's about your joy. So you got the choice. You let go of the elephants and you embrace joy, or you don't get joy. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as, well, they shouldn't have. Well, maybe they shouldn't have, but they did. Now, the responsibility for yours is yours, for whatever. I grew up in a racist country, a racist society. I grew up in Mississippi where they still lynched people like me. Up until the 50s and the 60s, they still did it. I grew up under those conditions. Now, I had to make a choice. Hatred that destroyed me, or do the right thing by me. So I'm not just talking crap here. I'm saying there is no excuse unless you want there to be an excuse. You want your misery. You want something else. You want people from Mars or Jupiter or Pluto or from another galaxy to come down and pass their hand over you, and automatically you feel better. Bull crap. It's not going to happen because you are the one who's holding the anchor. Now, you either want to let it go or you don't. You don't, you are creating it over and over and over and over and over and over again. So you walk through the world on your carpet of misery because you're creating it. I say that. But until you as an individual recognizes that, it's not going to make any difference. So one of the things I suggest is senses technique. That puts you right here, takes you right out of this, and you can feel good. You feel good because, wow, you're not into all that garbage. All of a sudden, you're back into the garbage. You must recognize it is the garbage in your head that's causing you to feel bad. Oh, then I shouldn't do that. Right. Not if you want to feel like this. If you want to be the most miserable thing on the earth, if you want, when the little kid asks their parents, ask Mommy, what is misery? And they open up the dictionary and there's your name. If that's what you want to be, go, it's okay with me. It's all right. If that's what you want, it's very simple. You're creating it. You're focused in it. You're focused in this idea. You got this energy. You're visualizing all that happened, all that might happen. It's your world. You run it. What do you want? What do you want? It can get very complicated. This whole process can get so complicated if that's what you do. It's not that complicated. It's simple. It's not complicated at all. It's simple. But when you start thinking about it, boy, you can create a plate of spaghetti that, when you start thinking about it. Well, I'm justified in my anger, and many of our people in mental health say, you have the right to be angry. Yes, but you have the responsibility to get over it. You have the right to be angry. Yeah, but why would you want to choose that kind of misery? You also have the right to get over it. You know, you're angry about something because you can't do anything about it. That's why you're angry. Listen to the statement. You can't do anything about it. Oh, then let it go. You can't do anything about it. Key words. I'm frustrated. Frustration turns to anger. I can't do anything about it. Oh, if I can't do anything about it, let it go. These are just things that you have to give thought to. See, if you don't really give thought to this process, you can't recognize stuff. If when you leave here this day, you walk out that door, no, not even walk out the door. I've seen it happen. I'll be sitting down lecturing and said, namaste, and everybody go, namaste, and turn around and do exactly what they've been doing before they got here. It is like, damn. I really should be charging for this stuff. I should be charging about, I don't know, $1,500 an hour or something like that. You know, then at least I'd be rich. But I can't do that. All right? Can't do that. I've seen people, I've seen people, I've finished talking about, oh, you should work together as a group, blah, blah, and everybody's, oh, yes, yes. And then they start fighting over my plane ticket. Oh, it's like, oh, God. We are such victims of crap. We need to get over it. It's not that important. The idea is recognizing that's not that important. Recognize you're in a habitual mode. It's not that important. Is that really where you want to be? Is that really the carpet you want to lay out? Is that what you want? Then if that's not what you want, get busy with what you want, because it's your creation. Be interesting. Let us see what happens between now and the next group. I'd like to thank you for your time. Good day.